guys, and welcome back to Reading Club. Today I'm going to read you Franny K.Stein, Mad Scientist, The Fran with 4 Brains, Chapter 9 to Chapter 12. Chapter 9, But We Don't Want to. Franny gathered the Fran bots together. "You're doing a great job," she told them, "but I think we can do better." The Fran bots smiled. "We were thinking the exact same thing," one of them said. "We want more projects. We can be more excellent. We found another place that teaches all sorts of spectacular classes." One of them handed Franny a rancor. "You just select one thing from each column and make up your own activity. Then you can attend 3 days a week for 10 years until you really learned it." "We can do it. We can do them all. We are going to be so excellent." Franny looked at the chart. "Create your own class. Just take one from each column. Underwater, medieval, blindfolded, high speed, extreme. Column 2. French, 2-person, barefoot, 100, nighttime. One-handed, nighttime. Column 3. Owl, grandma, sofa, possum, diaper. Column 4. Painting, tickling, wrestling, juggling, slapping. "Well, I have to admit," Franny said, "underwater one-handed diaper juggling does sound fascinating, but the pace is already too much for Mom. She can't keep up with you now, and it will be even harder on her if you add a bunch of new activities." "No more new classes. Tomorrow we'll change your programming and slow things down," she told them. The Fran bots frowned. "Look, I know you don't like it, but that's how it's going to be. You can't get carried away here." Chapter 10. They get carried away here. Igor quietly jostled Franny awake. Franny groaned. "What is it this time, Igor? A monster under your bed?" "I've told you a million times. We all have monsters under our beds. The lab is full of monsters. Now go back to sleep." Igor struck Franny harder and harder until she finally woke up. "What is it?" she said angrily. Igor pointed at the Fran bots. They were over in one little corner of the lab, going over some sort of plan. Franny slid out of bed, and the two of them crept up close enough to overhear. "Franny is getting in the way of our pursuit of excellence," one of them said, "and we need to be excellent." The other Fran bots nodded in agreement. "So she must be neutralized." Igor gulped. "And then we'll neutralize Mom. It's just like Franny said. Mom can't keep up with us. She is getting in the way of our excellence. Nothing is more important than excellence," they all said together. "Then we'll take care of her dad and her brother and that weasel dog she calls Igor." Igor knew he should have been insulted. Igor knew he should have been insulted, but he kind of liked weasels. "And after that, we'll go after the rest of the world. The rest of the world could get in the way of our excellence as well." Franbot number 2 flashed its robot eyes. "Is everything prepared for the neutralization?" It asked, almost said. Franbot number 3, "I will be using my excellent cooking skills. I hope they will both enjoy them." "Cooking skills?" Franny said. "Are they going to eat us?" Chapter 11. Can I make you a sandwich? Igor ran and got Franny one of her best smashers. "This won't work, Igor. I made the Fran bots too strong to be smashed to bits." Igor ran and got her a screwdriver. "Good thinking, Igor, but I can't just disassemble them." The 3 of them worked together. They could easily overpower me before I twisted the first screw. Igor ran and got her suitcase and some records of 9 vacation destinations. "We can't just run away, Igor. They'll get Mom, they'll get my family, and then they'll get the whole world." They heard the Fran bots preparing to come after them. "It's time. Let's take care of Franny," one of them hissed. Suddenly, Igor ran off. "Igor, you coward! I guess it's all up to me," Franny whispered, wishing that she had taught Igor something about teamwork. But as fast as Igor had vanished, he returned and was doing his best Franny impersonation. And although it wasn't perfect, it was good enough to fool the Franbots. "There she is," one of them yelled, and choosing a selection at random from its huge memory blank of recipes, Franbot number 3 blasted Igor with his food ray. Franny watched in horror as they picked up what was left of Igor and put it in a little bag. The Franbot had transformed him into a tuna fish sandwich. "Igor sacrificed himself to save me," Franny said. "I guess maybe I did teach him something about teamwork. Soon they will all be lunch delicacies." The Franbots cheered. "Let's do it right now," one of them yelled. "No, first we must practice our skills. Nothing is more important." They all agreed that it was a better idea, and they went their separate ways to practice their bagpipes, soccer, and gourmet cooking before they destroyed the world and turned everybody into tuna fish sandwiches. "How can I stop them?" Franny whispered to herself. She knew it was all up to her. Franny looked over at the assortment of medieval swords she had collected. She wondered if she could at least damage the Franbots badly enough to help her family escape. But then poor little Igor would have to live the rest of his life as a tuna fish sandwich. And the Franbots would ultimately destroy the whole world anyway, no matter how far Franny and her family ran. No, she would need something mightier than a sword. Chapter 12. Yeah, but what's mightier than a sword? "I know," Franny said, and she picked up a pen. She quickly drew a big screw on her chest and some lines on her sleeves to look like the Franbots' segmented arms and legs. She drew screws on her face and stood as stiffy as she could. "I hope this works," she whispered. Franny knew that if her performance showed any lack of confidence, the Franbots would see right through her disguise. The Franbots were scattered all over the lab, busy practicing their various excellent skills. Franny walked right up to Franbot number 1, who was playing the bagpipe, and in the most machinical voice she could fake, she asked, "Practicing for the recital tomorrow, aren't you?" The Franbot looked up. "Recital?" it repeated, totally fooled by Franny's drawn-on screws and segments. "That's right," Franny said. "A recital. Everybody will be there. Everybody will be watching. Everybody will be judging your performance to see if you were really excellent or not." Franbot number 1 looked worried. "How do you think I do?" it said. Franny shook her head sadly. "Average. The other players can play much louder and hold the notes much longer." But I must be excellent," the Franbot whimpered. "I've also heard that several of them can hit a high J note," Franny added. "There's no such thing as a J note." The Franbot scoffed. "The musical scale doesn't go up to J. Maybe your scale doesn't, but don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be okay." That wasn't good enough for Franbot number 1. It was driven to be excellent, and that's exactly what it planned to be. Determined to hit the impossibly high note that Franny had made up, it gathered up all of its breath, put its steel lips over the mouthpiece of the bagpipe, and blew off its guts right into the bag. Now deactivated, it fell over with a heavy clang, and Franny hurried off to find Franbot number 2. Well, that's the end of this channel. If you liked it, please click many likes and subscribe Reading Club. I'll come back later with a new and improved channel. Bye, guys!